Welcome back, everybody, to the Vancouver Woodsmen Expansion series here on NBA 2K23 MyNBA. And today we have the last month of the season, at least until the play-in tournament / playoffs, because we're probably going to have some kind of appearance in the postseason, just not sure in what fashion. We have exactly 1 month left. I'm going to sim probably about halfway through, see where things are at, and then probably choose a game that has the most meaning to us. If we get all the way to the Rockets game on the road, and that could determine where we end up this year, then we're going to watch that game. I do want to make one adjustment to our game plan, and that is to bench Joe Ingles and put in... I missed him. Put in Will Barton in place of him. We're going to bring him off the bench. We're going to start Barton at small forward. I will lower Ingles' minutes a little bit, and I'll give those to Barton. We still have guys who are pretty tired here, but we really can't afford to sit them for as much as the game is telling me to. So we're going to stick with this. We're 36-32. We're 7th in the playoff picture and in our conference, and it is very tight down here. Quick side note, if you enjoy this video and want to see more, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way. Also, at the very end of the episode, after we get through the entire regular season, I am going to go over our current draft board, because right now I still have a chance to get some more information. I have built my draft board up to about 24-25 players as of right now, but I will have full information, the most possible information, once we wrap up this regular season. So once I do that, I will go through the entire draft board at the end of the episode. So this could be a pretty long one, as you can tell by the length. I have no idea what's in store for us this episode, but we're about to find out. So let's see what happens. I'm going to sim probably through the Hornets game and then go from there. We have 6 out of our last 7 games are on the road. So that is going to be crucial to where we end up. But let's go and sim a couple of weeks here. So we have simmed through March 26th, and we are up to 6th in the playoff picture, despite probably not playing very well these last couple of games. In fact, the offense has gotten worse somehow. We had a 3-game win streak here, but beyond that, no other wins here. We lost to Minnesota, who I think has swept us this year across 5 or 6 or so games. We lost by 4 to the Raptors. We lost again to Minnesota, got blown out this time. We lost by 8 to the Warriors, and we lost by 2 to Charlotte. So a couple of close losses here, and a couple of good wins, and a couple of close games too. So we have moved up, but we still have 2 games on the Clippers, so that they could easily pass us this last half month or so. So I'm going to sim through the Thunder game here and see where we're at after that. So we sim 2 more games. We go 1-1. We barely beat the Thunder by 1 point. We are still 6th. We are 40-38, and we have the Grizzlies right behind us. We have the tiebreaker on them somehow. The Clippers have sort of fallen behind us. They still have 1 game less played than we do. Now we face the Mavericks, who are I think the top team right now. No, they're number 2 in the conference. Then we have the Warriors, the Thunder again, and the Rockets, who are pretty bad. So I'm going to sim 2 more games and see where things are there. We sim those 2 games. We won both of them by 5. We take down the number 2 team thanks to a 91 points hold, I guess, by our defense. Again, they are winning us games. We take down the Warriors 2, who I think are the 4th seed. We have secured a play-in spot, so we are guaranteed to at least have an appearance in the postseason. I'm going to sim 1 more game and see where things are at after the Thunder game. But after that, we are going to be watching the Rockets game on the last day of the season. So let's find out what happens here. And we win against the Thunder, a 4-game win streak, potentially 5 if we take down Houston. If we win this game, then we escape the play-in tournament. If we lose and the Clippers win, they might have a chance. No, they do have a chance to be number 6 instead. So it's pretty much between us and them. because the Grizzlies have wrapped up their season. So if we win, we secure the 6th seed. If we lose and the Clippers win, they secure the 6th seed. So that is what is on the line right here. And also a 5-game win streak is also on the line here. By the way, our offense, of course, has gotten worse. We are down to 105.5 points per game. The Rockets, who we faced today, have the second worst, 0.4 above us. And then our defense, I think, has also improved. And we are by far the best defense. So I think we should be able to beat the Rockets. They're a terrible team. And we'll see if we can do that, because they are 21-60. And we have a actual playoff spot on the line here. So who do the Rockets have? Well, they have Jalen Green, of course. They've got Kevin Porter Jr. They got Jayshawn Tate, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Şengün, Eric Gordon, Josh Christopher, and more. But their roster, I think, is pretty comparable to ours. Our defense is what is keeping us apart from them, from being as bad as they are. So, yeah, here we go. Vancouver will rock with John Wall, Beverly, Will Barton, Kevin Love, and Mason Plumlee. The Rockets will start KPJ, Jalen Green, David Nwaba, Jabari Smith, and Şengün. Here we go, on the road. A playoff spot is on the line. We are here at the Toyota Center here in Houston, Texas. The stands are pretty much empty. It's like half full in here, because the Rockets are terrible as per usual ever since James Harden left. But John Wall taking on his former team as he finds Plumlee on the pick and roll. Nice play to start this one off here on Easter weekend. Şengün spins and fires. His shot is off. Plumlee, an offense and defensive big man. I think he could be a really good guy off the bench these next couple of years as we try and reform this team once we have wrapped up this season. John Wall gets inside and scores, 4-0 Vancouver. Şengün in the paints. Can't score this time either. John Wall gets inside and can't lay it in. Good defense there by Porter. Porter for 3. Decent look, but it's too strong. Kevin Love. Mismatch down low. He scores over Jalen Green. Vancouver leads 6-0. Şengün scores and got the foul this time on Plumlee. That's the first bucket for Houston this game. As you can tell, it is very quiet in here. Şengün's free throw is up and good. Wall gets past Porter and lays it in. He's got 4. Time counting down. Smith goes to Porter. He fires a 3 and is off the mark once again. Kevin Love pump fakes. Backing down. Smith, but can't score. Smith off the screen. Tough shot off the mark. Will Barton finds Wall for a 3. He can't knock it down. Smith fires again. Ice cold start from him. Plumlee to Love down low, working on Smith. Go up, man. He scores. Şengün off the feed there from Green. He's got all 5 for Houston. Wall over the top finds Kevin Love on the roll. Nice pass. Uh-oh. Beverly left. Green wide open, trying to help on the defense in the paint on Şengün, but Green missed a wide open look. And that is why they only have 5 points through almost 5 whole minutes to start this one. The lob for Plumlee is there from John Wall. Incredible stuff. The offense looks good because we're playing a terrible team. This is fun, though. Nwaba left wide open. That's the first non-Şengün points for Houston. Wall off the screen fires a deep 3. Don't love that shot selection right there. Time cutting down. Green has the ball. He has to fire. No, he goes back to Smith, who steps out of bounds trying to grab that pass. And Green will check in place of Plumlee. And Kevin Love will actually go to center as well. John Wall, time cutting down, pulls up. The shot is off the mark from the baseline. Smith in the paint. Wow, passed up a wide open look right at the rim. Porter in the paint. He fires and is off the mark. The offense for Houston is looking pretty bad. Ours is not looking too great either, but we're still getting some decent looks here. Time cutting down for Vancouver. Kevin Love to Will Barton. Nice pump fake. He fires. It's too strong. And that is our cue to sim ahead to the second quarter and see where things are at there. So, not the most exciting game of the year, obviously, but we are up by 15 points on probably the worst team in the entire league, who does have probably a bright future ahead of them as Garuba gets open right there. Nice pass there by Christopher. 13-point game, but our defense has played pretty well. We've held them to 41% shooting from the field. We've shot 52%. So we have played pretty well overall and are on our way to a good chance here at a win, although there are still about 2.5 quarters left. Time cutting down. Shamitz for three. No good. Josh Christopher, mid-range jumper, off the mark. Kevin Love swatted out of bounds. I think that was Usman Garuba. John Wall with the ball. Finds Green, wide open three. He knocks it down. Finally, some good action here on offense. And now a steal there for Shamet. Poked the ball out, and Green comes up with it. Bad pass there. I think that was Porter trying to find someone down low. Now Wall, a deep three. He knocks it down. Same spot as Green on the last play. 52-33 is your score. And now a shot is up and in for Houston. That was Eric Gordon. Shamitz had the ball poked out and stolen by Porter, who was guarding John Wall. And now he throws it right to Green once again. Green mismatch on Porter. Picks up his dribble, but why? I don't know. Shamet, time cutting down. Shakes off his man, but misses the midi. Come on. Porter, top of the key, left wide open. But a tough day for him. Wall lobs it over the top for Plumlee. What a pass. Eric Gordon throws it right to JaMychal Green. He's got 3 steals this quarter alone. Wall takes the screen, goes back to Plumlee. He lost it, gets it back. The hop step. He's swatted by Garuba. His second of the quarter. Eric Gordon working on John Wall. Can't really shake him off, though. 5 on the clock. A screen comes. Gordon fires a 3. No good. The Vancouver defense has been locked down. John Wall now on offense. Pulls up and hits the mid-range shot. Eric Gordon guarded by Taurean Prince. He scores. That's his second bucket, but a 19-point lead here for Vancouver. Just over 2:15 to go here in the first half. We got Wall, Prince, Ingles, Green, and Tucker out there. Wall fires a 3. Wide left. Eric Gordon goes to Garuba. Now Tate. Now Josh Christopher. Back to Tate for a 3. He knocks it down. Okay, what are these chants right now? I have never heard these before. The crowd is just completely dead silent. Who are these guys that are yelling? Wall! Nice shot. He's got 11 and 5 assists, 5 for 10 from the field. Eric Gordon gets to the paint. Prince Fouled him on the shot. Bucket no good, so 2 free throws. But apparently Torian Prince has been shooting very well these last couple of games. That's not him, that's Gordon. Why do they switch his picture? I don't know, but the first free throw is good. Second is also good. 16-point game. Prince. No, that was wide open 3-man. Now he fires. And it's off. But Tucker got the board. Prince for a second try. No good again. Tate to Şengün. Wow. What a shot. What? What are you talking about? Last shot of the first half. Green for 3. No good. Şengün the offensive board. And the putback is good. It beats the buzzer. So they have closed this gap down to 12. As Vancouver leads at halftime 58-46. We're not done here yet. We flash ahead with 7:10 to go here in the third quarter. The Rockets have closed the gap to 4 as we lead 65-61. Shaman for 3. Don't love that shot. And Garuba grabs the board. Again, if we win, we clinch the number 6 seed. We cannot choke this game away. We led by 21 at 1 point. Garuba inside. 2-point game. Tucker, put a hand up, man. Come on. Shaman back to Prince. Wide open. Make it count. He doesn't. Time counting down. Tate finds Garuba for a wide open 3. Houston has their first lead of the entire game. Are you kidding me? Come on, guys. Shamet takes a screen on the move, fires a 3. What an incredible shot to answer the Garuba 3. Vancouver back in front by 2. Christopher blocked by Joe Ingles. Okay. Time counting down. Ingles for 3. It's no good. Tucker gets the board, though. That's a pretty big board right there. Shamet again. It's good. Landry Shamet, 2 threes in a row. And that puts us back in front by 5. Great work. Gordon will take it himself. Prince almost blocks it. Tate gets the board and is fouled by Joe Ingles. 2 free throws for Jae'Sean Tate. The first one is up and good. The second is good as well as John Wall checks in. Wall, open mid-range jumper. It's off, though. Eric Gordon for 3. He knocks it down. We're tied again at 71. And the crowd is dead silent. Ingles for a deep one. That one's go. We're trading threes now. All of a sudden, what is going on? Şengün in the paints. He's going to score because he's guarded by Tucker. John Wall in the paints. Blocked by Şengün. Ingles, though, off the offensive board by Green. Misses the open mid-range shot. The Rockets a chance to tie at the free throw line. Green picks up his 4th foul. It's our 5th of the 3rd. Tate ties the game, and this free throw could put them back in front, which he does. 75-74 in favor of Houston. Ingles to Wall, wide open 3. He missed it. Şengün on Tucker. He's going to score that. It is so simple to predict. If they're guarded by Tucker, they're probably going to score. Jesus Christ. Ingles to Tucker. He goes up. He missed the shot. He got the offensive board, though. That's pretty big. Ingles. Decent look at a three. Not this time. Green finds a lane and lays that one in as he flies past John Wall. He's got 20. From where? We call a timeout, down by 5. I have no idea if the Clippers are winning or losing, or if they play later on. I have no idea how that game is going right now. So, we would like to win this game. Oh my God, Taurean Prince trying to find Tucker, and Şengün tips the ball, and we turn the ball over. Embarrassing stuff here these last few minutes. Gordon's shot is up and out. Prince, good job there on the stop. John Wall, ISO against Green. He steps back, goes back out to Prince. Now Tucker, contested shot. It rattles out. Christopher goes back to Şengün. Guarded by Tucker. He scores. Come on, man. You know what? I'm trading Tucker this offseason because he does have a few more years left on his deal. I'm going to trade his ass, man. I'm so sick of him. Joe Ingles in the paint. Passes back out. Can we get an open look, please? Prince for 3. It's off. The Rockets have the final shot of the quarter. We have not scored in like 3 or 4 minutes, dude. Here we go. Last play into the fourth quarter. Gordon to Green for a jumper. It's out. We are down by 7, 81-74. From up 21 in the second to down by 7 through 3. What a joke. 6:31 to play and counting. Down by 4 with the ball as Houston leads 86-82. We got outscored 35-16 in that third quarter. We're trying to mount a bit of a comeback here in the fourth. John Wall with time cutting down, takes the screen. Not a good shot there, and it almost goes in. Şengün over Love. Good defense. He gets the board and tips it back in. John Wall drives, gets past Porter in for a slam. Green got the switch to Plumlee, goes back to Şengün, now back out to Porter. He takes it inside and fires. The shot is off, though. We got lucky there. That was a pretty good look. Will Barton, baseline drive. He draws the foul on Jabari Smith, his second. These free throws could cut this lead in half for Houston. The first free throw drops. And the second is also good as Beverly checks in. Porter to Şengün. Plumlee can't stop him. Wall wants to attack Porter again. He can't get by, and this time almost lost the ball, but gets it back. Now goes to Barton here in the corner. Love the screen. Barton no, he goes back to Love. Come on, why? Şengün off the off-ball screen. Can't score, but Plumlee is called for his second foul. Şengün talking some trash. Plum God does not like the foul call there. The first free throw drops. Şengün's got 21. The second is no good. 5-point game with about 4:15 to play. Got to create something here. 5 on the clock. Plumlee to Love. He spins and fires, and it's no good. 5 on the clock for Houston. Porter's got it. Screen from Şengün. Porter fires without using it, and he missed it. Wall takes the screen. Gets by 2 defenders and draws the foul on Şengün. Free throws coming up. The first is up and good. And John Wall goes 2 for 2. Nice job. Oh, come on, Bev. He lets Green get by him, and Porter found him for the wide open bucket. 5-point game, under 3 to go. John Wall in the paint, steps back, open shots. It rattles out, no. Green to Nwaba for a 3. It's good. David Nwaba makes it an 8-point game. I don't see us scoring 8 points. The lob for Plumlee sails out of bounds. What are we doing offensively, man? We're playing the Rockets. Şengün inside off the feed from Porter. 10-point game. It's not looking good for us. Beverly takes the screen. He goes to Plum God. His shot is up and in. Şengün. Low block on Plumlee. The hook. It's no good. Here's our chance. Beverly takes the screen. Gets inside. Misses the layup. You have to hit that. Jesus Christ. The offense has just completely collapsed here this half. Şengün inside the bucket and the foul. It's over. It's over. The defense, despite, having a worse second half, has been good overall. But again, we have seen the offense fail to eclipse 100 points. Embarrassing performance. Wall goes back out to Barton for a jumper. Wide open, he missed it. How many times have we seen that? So we have lost to quite possibly the worst team in the entire league. 94 points to show for it. And I have no idea if we have secured a playoff spot or not. It depends on the Clippers winning or losing. I guess we'll find out after we check the box score, folks. We could very well have dropped ourselves into the play-in tournament. Şengün drops 28 and 12. Jalen Green drops 25 and 6. The Woodsmen get 19 from John Wall, who I think shot like 18% in that second half. Pretty bad day shooting-wise for him. Kevin Love 13 and 10. Shim at 12. A couple of highlights from him, but overall, nobody impressed besides Plumlee, I would say, especially there in the first quarter. But this loss is my fault because I said that we are on our way to a win, quite possibly in the second quarter, which you should never do. So we lose by 9, and let's go find out if we have indeed dropped out of the top 6 playoff spots. But first we have the awards, and oh my god, Luka Doncic has just had the best ever season in history of the entire league. And trust me, it's not my sliders. I have tested this game without my sliders on just the default stuff, and he always just gets a triple-double every single season. So he's a broken character, but 41, 11, and 10 is absurd, especially on that good of shooting. 53% from the field, 83% at the line, and 45% from downtown. Absolutely insane. Paolo Banchero wins Rookie of the Year, as he probably should. I'm a Duke fan, by the way. I'm sorry. But Paolo, 17 points per game, 8 boards per game, 3 assists, 0.8 steals, 0.9 blocks. He shot pretty well from the field. Isaiah Jackson, Sixth Man of the Year, averaging 15, 6, and so on and so forth. He shot pretty well from the field. Giannis wins DPOY with 25 and 10 plus 1 steal and 1.7 blocks per game. And Miles Bridges wins Most Improved Player, a guy who probably won't even see the court this upcoming season. And Nate McMillan, I believe the Hawks head coach, wins Coach of the Year, a 58 and 24 record. And Jacob Park wins Executive of the Year, a 57 and 25 record for whatever team he's a part of. All-NBA first team: Luka, Harden, Giannis, LeBron, and Jokic. Second team: Embiid, Tatum, Durant, LaMelo, and Trae Young. Third team: Ja Morant, SGA, Paul George, Butler, and Cat. All defensive first team is Gobert, Draymond, Giannis, Ben Simmons, and Luka. Luka? Really? All defensive second team: Lonzo Ball, Murray, PG-13, Butler, and Embiid. All rookie first team: Ivy, Holmgren, Jabari Smith, Keegan Murray, and Paolo Banchero. All rookie second team has 3 players. Why? Shadon Sharp, Sochan, and Roddy. Where's the rest? And that leads us here. The Clippers won. They took the 6th seed from beneath our grip. We had it in the clutches of our hands and we lost it, and now we are in the play-in tournament. We have to face the Grizzlies. But if we lose, we do have a chance to grab the 8th seed. But if we win, we do take the 7th seed. But I don't see us stopping Ja Morant, to be honest. I just don't see that. I think he's too good of a player. I think their team is too good of us to guard. And they're also a decent defensive team as well. So that's trouble. Yeah. We're the 7th seed. Memphis is the 8th, and they're also like our main rival of the series. They could very well knock us out of our first play-in or our first playoff chance here in the series, which would definitely be a storyline to keep track of. But Phoenix is the 9, Minnesota is the 10, the Pelicans are the 1, Dallas is the 2, Denver 3, Warriors 4, Lakers 5, Clippers 6. We missed out on the playoffs, but we have a chance to sneak our way back in. Then over here in the East, you've got Atlanta at the 1, Boston at the 2, Philly at the 3, Cleveland at the 4, the Bulls at the 5, and Brooklyn at the 6. In the Eastern play-in tournament, you got Milwaukee and the Heat, and then the Knicks and the Pistons. So that's kind of wild that Milwaukee is that low, but... So player stats, here is where things finished off with. We had John Wall, Kevin Love, Beverly. I think just those 3 guys started and played the entire year. Very durable, albeit also very old. And they are pretty tired as well. But they played the entire year, starting every single game. Plumlee missed a couple of games, but overall, he played a lot. Ingles played a lot. He played it in every game. We did bench him the last 14 games of the year, in which Will Barton became the starter, and both of those guys did not miss any time. So we were pretty lucky on the injury front, despite losing Plum God for about a month there, which is pretty crucial to where we ended up. But John Wall, leading scorer, 23.5 points per game. Kevin Love, 18 points per game, despite shooting 36%. But I think it was his 3-point attempts, 11 per game. That is a lot. Not going to bring him back next season for sure. Pat Bev, 9, 5, and 4, plus 1 steal and 1 block per game. Plumlee, 7 and 8 for him. Ingles, 5 points per game. Will Barton, 12.6 points per game. I should just sort by this. Taurean Prince, 8.8 points per game. And more stats available over here as well. And then after that, a couple of guys with 7 points or so. And Tucker was just abysmal. I think he is the odd man out in terms of our game plan for the playoffs. So I'll go ahead and set that thing up. I'm going to whittle our lineup down to probably 8 players. So Tucker is the first guy out of here for sure. After that, I think that Joe Ingles has actually had a couple of really good defensive highlights here this year. Shamit has been all right, but he hasn't played too much this season. I do want Prince and Green to play, so those guys are going to be here. I think I want to play Joe Ingles, though. So I think we'll rock with this. I'll increase their minutes up to about like 24 each, and I'll spread the rest out amongst the starters. We'll give John Wall probably like 35, Beverly up to around 35. We'll Barton up a lot, Plumlee for sure up to like 33, 34, and we'll up Kevin Love's too. So that's where I'm going to go with for our lineup the rest of the way. So final team stats, we go 43 and 39 this season. 105.4 points per game, good for last in the entire league. 104.8 points allowed per game, good for first in the entire league. A 0.5 differential. We shot poorly. We shot the worst amongst any team. For 3-pointers, we weren't very good despite having players who could knock those down. We were third to last on that. For free throws, we weren't special. We weren't bad either. I would say we were, let's see here. We were 14th. We had 49.4 boards per game, good for about 18th in the entire league. As for assists per game, we have 25.5, which is good for 20th. Steals per game, we were actually pretty solid here, 15th, actually sort of average there. Blocks per game, probably last, I would have to assume. Actually, no, we were 27th, good for 6th to last, I think. Turnovers per game, we were actually one of the better teams here. We were the 3rd best team in that category. Second chance points, dead last. Points in the paint, dead last. Our bench points per game were top 10. And that brings us to the league leaders this season across the entire league. Luka, of course, leads all scores with 41.4 per game. Absolutely insane. That will never happen. Trae Young in second, 30 points per game. Levine in third. Then Tatum, Booker, DeRozan, Embiid, Jokic, Beal, and SGA to round out this top 10. Our top player, John Wall, comes in here at 22nd. Rebounds per game, Embiid wins this stat, 14.4 per game for him. Jokic, 13.5. Allen in third. Capella 4. Luka 5th. Gobert 6. Aiden 7. Nurkic 8. Adams 9. And Giannis 10th. Our top guy was Kevin Love with 8.8. He comes in here at 24th. Assists per game. Nikola Jokic wins this category with 10.5 per game. Luka in second. Chris Paul third. Trae Young fourth. Draymond Green 5th. LaMelo 6th. Harden 7. Halliburton 8. LeBron 9. And Ja Morant 10th. Steals per game leaders. Butler with 2.5 is number 1, followed by Paul George, Matisse Thybulle, Drew Holiday, Lonzo Ball, Kawhi, Murray, Simmons, LaMelo Ball, and D'Anthony Melton. Wow. And lastly, blocks per game. Mitchell Robinson of the Knicks wins this category with 2.2. Then Jaren Jackson Jr. in second. Rob Williams in third, the Time Lord. Gobert in fourth. AD in fifth. Kristaps in sixth. Holmgren 7th. Mo Bamba 8th. Miles Turner 9th. And Daniel Gafford in 10th. So, with that all being done, I'm going to go and sort my draft board, add a few new prospects, and then I'll go through the entire thing. So here is my draft board, and I'm going to explain how I sort this and how I added players to it and what my thought process was. But first, there are several guys that are going to go first round that I just did not want to add to this board because I have no interest in taking them. So those names aren't on here, but I have a lot of guys who are sleeper picks and who are guys that are going to be there at least with our first round pick, which I'll show you guys where our current spot is for that in the mock drafts. But right now, I have sorted this entire thing that has about 30 players. I have sorted this by aggregate potential, which is what a bunch of different scouts have said about each player, where the other big boards think these guys are in terms of potential and ability. So I sort by that, and then I also ordered those guys after that by potential, but above that, if they have the same potential, by who I think is the better player at that same potential grade. So the top guy here who has the highest ceiling at A+ is John Watts. Now, he's a guy that can't really score too well, but he does have a couple of C's which can be worked on, and those can actually eventually can get very good, like up to like A+ if you try and train those and develop the player. But he's got already pretty good inside defense. He's got good rebounding. His IQ does need some work, but A potential or A+ potential is a huge bonus. So if you have a guy like that, you kind of have to think about taking him. But his ceiling is Bill Russell Hall of Fame, which is insane. So his floor is also the bench. So this guy could be a boomer bust prospect. Then we have Horace Rivers and Bryant Lambert. These two guys are very, very similar. I think that Horace Rivers has better overall attributes, but both guys are, I believe, power forwards that have A potential. I'll make sure on that real quick. Horace Rivers, power forward. Bryant Lambert, power forward. But both guys can knock down the mid-range shot, which we have not had the entire year. We have had guys just miss wide open shots mid-range, and adding a player who can do that could be pretty beneficial to us. They also both can play some solid inside defense. They both can rebound, but Rivers does have a higher physical and a higher IQ, so I ranked him above Lambert. And by the way, as of right now, if you look at the data here, the projections are saying that both guys could be right around our pick. Rivers has gone up a couple of spots, but Lambert will probably be there at our pick, which I think is right below pick 20 maybe. Maybe it's a bit higher or lower, but it's around pick 20. And these both these guys could be there, but I do plan to trade probably PJ Tucker and our first to trade up a couple of spots after the first, I think like 12 to 13 picks, and see how far we can actually move up in the draft. Because if so, I would probably take Horace Rivers, because I think he's a better prospect overall than Lambert. But we'll see how that unfolds as we go along. But a lot of these guys, especially down here in this range, are probably going to be there at that pick. So we will have lots of options there, but it's important to hit our first round pick, because I am notorious for making some absolutely just terrible draft picks during the first draft class. So I need to do my best to avoid that. But then we have Johan Larsson, who is a point guard. He's a 74 overall right now out of Sweden. I think that he's a good prospect, but he's going to go probably top 10 for sure. He can slash, he can shoot, he can play defense and pass the ball very well. He's got good physicals, and he's got a good potential as well. So he's a good prospect. Probably won't fall to us near pick 20. Then you have Ron Baxter, who's a 74 overall as of right now, small forward. He's 6'8". This guy is a decent shooter, can definitely knock down the three-pointers, could definitely work on his defense a bit, but they're both in a pretty good spot where we can train both up to really good levels after a couple of seasons. He's got good physicals, and he's got A- potential as well. Antonio Garner, a 70 overall shooting guard, with an all NBA ceiling compared to Joe Dumars, but A- potential, A- physicals, C+ IQ, got really good defense out on the perimeter. He can knock down threes. He cannot hit mid-range shots, but he can also get better at slashing and scoring at the rim. He's an okay prospect. Not as high on him, obviously, but I have him ranked below all these guys because I think he's the worst of the A- potential prospects. Then we've got Artie Tyler, who is a center who is actually, I think, supposed to go first overall or somewhere around there. this is a guy who will probably start most of his career. He's already a 76 overall or around there, but his upside is not as high as these other players. But right now, he is supposed to go first overall in all 3 mock drafts. But Tyler has got B+ potential, C+ physicals, A rebounding, A inside defense. He's just a through and through a defensive rebounding big. There are many of those throughout the entire league. So to me, he's not anything special. Now we got Sasa Pavic, who I believe is another center, at 74 overall. And he's got B potential. Physicals not very good, which is why I think that he's probably not so good, because physicality is a pretty big part of being a center. And he's got B IQ, B rebounding, A- inside defense, and he can knock down shots across the court, and will probably be a really good stretch 5 in a couple of years. Then you have Clay Cook, who is probably one of my more favorited centers of the entire draft. Actually, he's a small forward. I'm just crazy. 74 overall, small forward, 6'8", B+ inside scoring, A mid-range, B playmaking, B potential. Pretty solid pick, especially if we can get him later on in the draft. Then you have Charlie White III, the eventual grandson, I guess, of Moist Critical. A- inside scoring, B post defense, B+ rebounding, B potential. I think he is my favorite center of the entire draft because of his value. Right now, his projection is probably anywhere from pick 22 all the way to 40. So he could go anywhere after our pick. Might consider trading up for him with our second pick if that's possible. We'll see how that goes. Larry Bowman is a point guard, 76 overall. I tried to avoid adding guys who are 6'1" or less to the board, but he's really, really good. And he can shoot very well. He can play make. His defense needs some work for sure, but good physicals and a pretty decent potential there. Dion Rhodes, B potential, B rebounding. He does nothing special besides rebounding. He's a power forward. He's down here for a reason. And we've got Wendell Anderson, a guy who can knock down mid-range shots and can definitely get better and is already pretty decent at inside scoring and 3-point shooting as well. Inside defense can also improve pretty quickly there, as well as rebounding. He's definitely a project guy, but he could definitely morph into a good player after a year or two. He's currently a 76 overall at power forward, and he is supposed to go anywhere from 12 to 26. So probably around 12. And now for Simon Perry, who is a guy who can knock down mid-range shots. He has good post defense and good rebounding. B potential, he's a center at 72 overall. But his projection is anywhere from 42 to 57, which means that we could potentially grab him in the early second round as a safe bet, and he could be probably a pretty good project guy. Ceiling is Bill Cartwright starter, floor, Bill Cartwright bench. So I think he could be a solid pick for us as well. But below this, it's mostly guys who have a low potential but have a couple of really solid attributes. For example, McLeod here is a shooting guard, no, small forward, who has good post defense, good rebounding, and good physicals, B potential. Omer Zet is a shooting guard, not a very high overall, but a high ceiling. And he's got A physicals. He can get better at playmaking. He's already a good defender and can improve down low as well. He can shoot at a couple of spots as well and can improve there as well. So I think that if you work on a Zet here, he could be pretty good at most of these traits after the first couple of years. So down here is Ryan Baker, who is the 80 overall guy that probably is not going to improve after year one because his potential is pretty low. He's already very good at rebounding and post defense, but he can't really do anything else. Like, he can score inside, but he's got D physicals as a center at 6'11" when he can do all this, which is confusing but also worrisome because of his low potential. So that's why he's so far down here. Then we've got power forward Henrik Eklund, who has B- potential, B- physicals, A boards, A inside defense. He can knock down threes as well, but he's probably going to go in the top 10 because of these traits. Let's go look real quick where he's going to go. 10, 8, and then 10. So he's going to be gone before we can get him. Robin Underwood is a power forward at 74 overall. He can score inside. He can potentially knock down some shots. He's got B- potential, B physicals, B IQ, B rebounding, B post defense. He's a really solid player. And he actually might also be available as well. His ceiling is Jermaine O'Neal, but because his potential average is pretty low, he's down here. But again, the draft board is going to be a lot slimmer once we get to our first pick, and so we'll have a lot more things to talk about then as well. Then you got Ray Harris, a small forward at 75 overall. He can shoot, he can play defense inside, he can rebound, he has high IQ, he has high physical traits, and he has a B potential. Evan Marshall is a guy who can really shoot the ball very well as a shooting guard, which he should be able to do anyways. Threes could use some work, but he can definitely become better at that. He's a good defender, good playmaker, high IQ, high physicals, high potential. Then Quinn Baldwin. Down here, we have reached the C+ potential guys. Not going to go more in depth as to them because all of these guys have some trader or whatnot, or they already have an A somewhere. So they are probably pretty close to reaching their potential. But Baldwin, inside scorer, high physicals. Herman Pollard is a shooter, but can also play make and has some good physicals. Probably a pretty solid second round pick here. Terry Perry is one of the top prospects, but I'm not as high on him. He is a work in progress shooter, but can definitely get to be a good one by year 2 or 3. He has good defense, good physicals, but his potential is probably already going to limit him as to where he can go beyond this season. Herbert Green, kind of a similar case there, except he's a much better shooter and a much better playmaker. Lenny Weaver, C+ potential, good post defense, good rebounding, B- physicals. Noel Forbes is kind of like a second round prospect at center. He can knock down mid-range jumpers. He's got good post defense, good rebounding, but again, potential is super low. Darren White is a good defender, high IQ player, good physicals. He's pretty much a defensive guy. That's all you'll get from him. And then Ralph Tavares is the last guy. He's a guy who can shoot down low, shoot mid-range jumpers, and maybe in the future can knock down threes. He's got some good post defense skills and some really high physical traits, but his potential is C. And that is the whole draft board. Again, it's hard to go super in depth here with every single player, but I think I've gone through who my top guys are, and I'll show one more time where the projections are for each of these players. So it's these 3 things right here: Draft Express, 2K Draft, and NBA Draft. Those are all the projections right here for these players. Again, about half these guys are going to be gone before we get to our first pick, but beyond there we have lots of options down here, and can probably make a couple of nice moves. So I have an idea on who I want to take, and yeah, I think I have a game plan for the draft. One last thing. The reason why I'm trying to go with whoever is the best available player when we draft is because, one, this team is going to be falling apart this year. Once we get to the off season, the draft is one of the first steps there. So we don't have a team that is already built around this player. We have to build it after we draft him, because the draft always goes before players are joining new teams in the off season. So it's the draft first, when we're going to have like 5 players on our team on contracts, and beyond that we're going to be spending like $90+ million in the open market trying to add players to our team and rebuild this team from pretty much the ground up, behind like John Wall, behind Alex Caruso perhaps, and players like that. But Tucker, I'm probably going to trade him to trade up in the draft, and that is where we're at right now, guys. That was your draft breakdown. That was the end of the season until the play-in tournament. So next time out, we face our rivals, the former Vancouver Grizzlies, now called the Memphis Grizzlies, in the first game here of the play-in tournament here in the Western Conference. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Again, please like and subscribe, comment down below. And until the play-in tournament starts and we take on Memphis, take care and go Woodsmen.